So last but not least, we're going to look at example 2. And example 2 is giving us a graph, and we need to write an equation of the parabola. Okay, so we're going to have to extract the information that we need from this graph, since we're not coming up, or we're coming up with the equation and we're not graphing it. So we're kind of going backwards a little bit. So a couple key pieces of information to look at. The first is, what direction is my parabola opening? Which direction is it opening, I should say. So if I look at my parabola is this guy right here, and it's clearly opening down. I also know it's opening down because my focus is right here. So my parabola always kind of umbrellas, kind of like Pac-Man eating its little, I don't know if you guys are too young to remember Pac-Man, but Pac-Man kind of was that little figure that kind of went after and ate those little like dots. But your parabola is basically eating the focus. The focus should be inside of your parabola. If you also know, your directrix they label is on the opposite side. So there's some key information here. The first is, we know this opens down. So right when you know that it opens down, you know that you have a parabola that is going to be opening either above or below your x-axis. If it's opening below your x-axis, you have an equation that will kind of, that you can pull from that. So right off the bat, if I go back here, it's opening, or actually if you look at the other sheet, if you flip back to the 4, once they have your 4 options, you know it's opening down, so you know that you're going to be looking at the x squared because it's around your x-axis, and your p is less than 0, so you're going to be using the x squared equals 4py as your equation. So x squared is equal to 4py. Well, in order to come up with this equation, you have to know what your p-value is. Well, your directrix, if you look, is the line that is parallel to your x-axis, but it's the line that goes through 1, 2, 3, your y equals 3 line, and your p-value, which is given to you by your focus, if you count the opposite direction, 1, 2, 3, you know your p is going to be -3 in the opposite direction. So it's the same units in both directions. So because it's opening down, you want your p-value to be negative, which it is. You count it down to your focus. And the last thing you want to do is you just want to plug that p-value into your general equation. So 4 times -3y, so x squared is equal to -12y, is your final formula that represents this graph. So you want to use the equation for the parabola with a vertical axis of symmetry, but more importantly, you don't even have to really realize that or write that down. You just really want to know that you're picking the right form, the right p-value to get your equation. And it's pretty much that simple. So at this point, why don't you work on checkpoint number 2, which is on the same page, and then we'll work on, and then you can work on the Now You Try These parts 1 through 5, and have those ready to go at our next class meeting, and we'll go over the questions that you have from that, and we'll have another in-class activity for you guys to do the next time we meet. Email me if you have any questions, otherwise I will see you at our next class.